नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. We were in this shlokam अजः सर्वेश्वरः सिद्धः सिद्धिः सर्वादिरच्युतः वृषाकविर्मेयात्मा सर्वयोगविनिःसृतः. That's where we were. And I think we completed the verse and we were dwelling a bit on siddhis. Right? So we are seeing different types of siddhis and stuff like that. We saw the regular Ashtasiddhi of Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, Prapti, all that, Prakamya, Ishatva, Vashatva. Then we saw some other classification on Parakaya Pravesham, the ability to leave one's body and enter another body. There is a Hadi Vidya, the ability to overcome hunger and thirst. Kadi Vidya, the ability to remain unaffected by seasons, weather, cold, hot, nothing. Vayu Gamana is flying. Madalasa Vidya, like Hanuman, changing the size of the body at will. It can become small, it can become big. Kanakadhara, the ability to get gold. Right? Adi Shankara did that. Right? Adi Shankara, when he was a small boy, after his investiture with the with the Upanayanam, he had gone for bhiksha to a very poor lady's house who had nothing to give him except a small gooseberry, Nalika. So in sheer compassion, this young boy sang the Kanakadhara Stotram and there was a shower of gold coins or gold. Similarly, Vedanta Deshika in Kanchipuram again. This again happened in Kanchipuram. Some mischievous people told a young brahmachari who wanted to get married, who had no money, they told him, you go to Deshikan, he'll give you. He has a lot of money. He had nothing. Deshikan had no money. Some mischievous people set him on. So the boy came and said, he wants to get married, he has no money, and I'm told you have a lot of money if you can give me. Then was composed a Sri Stuti. And there was a shower of gold again. Sri Stuti is Stuti to Lakshmi, that he said. Kanakadhara. Not to be taken in too much by this, although in the sense that in the temple I think maybe it was a Vishnu idol, I'm not sure. In Dakshineshwar, temple idols jewelry was stolen. Much was being made of it. When Sri Ramakrishna said, what are you people talking? What is this worth? He's the Lord of Shri. What is this jewelry? Why are you thinking such a major calamity has happened to the Lord because of some trivial jewelry that's gone? Lakshmi is the wealth of the creation itself. Anyway, Kanakadhara. Then Prakya, a yogi can direct his disciple to be born from a particular womb. So he'll be born here to this mother. It may be a childless, it may be a barren woman, it could be anything. A yogi can actually decide a jivan to be born where. That's called that. Then there's Surya Vidya. This used to be there. The ability to use sun's rays to transform substances from one to the other. Sun's rays are many things, Surya Vidya. And Mrita Sanjeevani, the ability to bring to life a person who is dead. So these are some of the classifications of Siddhis, and there's some more. Dura Shravanam, the ability to hear things that are happening far. Actually, in some disabled children itself, I have read about the fact that they can do that. God knows what is the wiring in the brain. Some of these autistic children, I'm not sure, they can, in some cases I've read, they can hear real far. Actually, considering that there is no distance in reality, these are just methods in the brain. Dura Shravanam, the ability to hear anything happening anywhere. Dura Darshanam, the ability to see far, anywhere. Swachchanda Mrityu, the ability to die on as per one's desire, will, when, how, etc. Yeah, Bhishma had. Then Devanam Krida Anudarshanam, the ability to sport with the celestials like Apsaras and all that, Devas. Trikala Jnanam, the ability to know past, present, future. Parachitta Adi Abhigyata, knowing the mind of others, to be able to read others' minds. Agni Arka Ambu Visha Adinam Pratishtambha, Agni, fire, the ability to control the effects of things such as fire, or the sun, or water, or poison, etc. That is, fire will not burn that person if he does. Water will not make that person wet. He can undo the effects, natural effects of these things. Poison will not affect. Like that. These are all siddhis. We go along. Vasur Vasumanaha Satyah Samatma Sammitah Samah Amogha Pundarikaksho Vrishakarma Vrishakritihi. Vasu means indweller. The one who is inside. Every being Vasunam Pavakaschasmi, Bhagavad Gita says. Among Vasus I am Pavaka. Vasumana means of great mind. Of great mind. Also, Parasar Bhattar says, he treasures his devotees in his mind. The Lord treasures his devotees in his mind, therefore it's called Vasumana. Vasumanaha Satya. Satya is reality, it is truth, it is existence. All that is Satya. Samatma is got a few meanings. The same self, the unperturbed self. That's a few. Then one more, Bhattar says he is impartial towards all. It's also Samatma. The Lord is impartial towards all. Samatma. Sammitah is in some, it's both viewed as Asammitah and Sammitah, because of Sandhi, both meanings have been given. Asammitah means unlimited. And Sammitah means, Bhattar says, it means he who is within the reach of his devotees. He is not unreachable, he is within the reach of his devotees. Samaha is ever the same. Samatma, Sammitah, Samaha. Or of equal disposition towards all. And then Amogha Pundarikaksho Vrishakarma Vrishakriti. Amogha means is not futile. Okay, fruitful. Worshipping whom is fruitful. They're Amogha. In Ramayana, Brahma tells Rama, Amogham darshanam Rama, nachamogha tavastava, amoghaste bhavishyanti bhaktimantascha ye naraha. O Rama, says Brahma, Amogham darshanam Rama. Your darshana of you can never be futile. It's very fruitful. Nachamogha tavastava. If I sing your praise, it can never be futile. It will be fruitful. And whoever are your bhaktas, all people who are your bhaktas, they were the amoghaste bhavishyanti, they will be, it will be fruitful and fruitful alone for them. Never futile. Like amogha. Pundarikaksha means one who is in the heart lotus. One who is seen in the heart lotus. Pundarika Aksha, seen in the heart lotus. Vrishakarma. Vrishakarma means dharma karma, of righteous action. Vrisha is usually with dharma. Vrisha means dharma. Vrishakarma means of righteous action. Vrishakriti. Dharmartha akriti shariram yasya saha. Vrisha means dharma, akriti means form. Dharma has taken form. Whose form itself is dharma, he is Vrishakriti. That's why he says dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. It's for establishment of dharma that I am manifesting time after time. You will recall earlier in Bharatam when Draupadi's humiliation was happening and she was crying for Krishna, and he came, he says, what was that the clothes that came to save her was dharma itself. The Krishna, he says dharma came. He doesn't say Krishna. It is dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. Actually, if you really sit down and think through some of these things, you'll really find it's true. That there's no reason why certain things happen to certain people, certain things don't happen to certain people. So long as you are upholding dharma, then there is a force of dharma that protects you. That happens. Okay, next slokam. Rudro bahushira babhrur vishvayonihi shuchishravaha amrita shastra sthanur vararoho mahatapah. Rudro means samharakale prajaha samharan rodayati iti rudra. He is the one who destroys all people during pralaya kalam, samhara kalam. Therefore he is called Rudra. Whereas Parashara Bhattar has a different take on this name. He says he is the one who makes his devotees cry in joy, have tears of joy. Therefore he is called Rudra. Bahushira, of many heads. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, 1,000 heads is God. Bahushira. Babruhu, Bibharti iti Babruhu, supporter. He is the one who supports. It's also the name of Saturn. It's the one who supports. Babru Ahana Visana. Okay. Vishwayoni is the cause of the universe.
Why is he called Babru?
Babru means Bibharti iti, supporter. Shuchishravaha. Vishwayoni, cause of the universe, womb of the universe, whatever you call it. Shuchishravaha. Shuchishravaha means Shuchini Namani, pure names, holy names. He has holy names. Parashara Bhattar says Shuchishravaha means he listens to the holy words of his devotees, the pure words of his devotees. Amrita, Shashvata, Sthanu, Vararoho, Mahatapa. Amrita means immortal. Also, the nectar is immortality, Amritam. Amrita. Shashvata Sthanu is considered as one word together. Shashvata means ever, always. Always the same, eternal. Shashvata Sthanu. Sthanu is also firm. Eternally firm. Sthanu means firm. Eternally firm. Vararoha means Arohanam means ascending. Vararoha means the greatness to which you must ascend, or the supreme goal. That's Vararoha. From here on, the next 25 names, Parashara Bhattar says, are descriptive of Lord Vishnu as Vishnu. Mahatapaha, next one. Mahatapaha is essentially tapa in this here it is interpreted as knowledge. And Mahatapa is of great knowledge. And Parasara Bhatta says it refers to the aspect of Vishnu as Sankarshana. Next one. Sarvagah Sarvavidbhanur Vishwakseno Janardana Vedo Veda Vidavyango Vedango Vedavid Kavi Sarvagah Sarvatra Gacchati iti Sarvagah. He goes everywhere, is all pervading. Sarvagah Sarvavit, all knowing. Also, Adi Shankara combines Sarvavit with next one. So he says Sarvavit Bhanu is one word. He says all knowing sun. Sun is all knowing. All knowing sun, he says one word. Whereas Parasara Bhatta splits it into two. He says Sarvavit is Sarvakarya Vindati. He gets success in all works. And he says this relates to Vishnu's aspect as Pradyumna. And Bhanu is one who shines, the sun. So Sarvagah Sarvavidbhanur Vishwakseno. He who has army everywhere and defeats enemies' armies in all directions is called Vishwaksena. He whose own pada is everywhere, army is everywhere, and who defeats army, the armies in all directions is called Vishwaksena. The aspect of Ganesha in a Vishnu temple is also called Vishwaksena. You will find in Tirupati temple there will be a Ganesha with Namam. Called Vishwaksena. First offering, first worship is offered to him actually. Nirmalyam also comes to him, I think. Srinivasa's Nirmalyam is brought to him. He is the commander in chief of the army there. So he is Vishwaksena. Okay. Now, yeah. He defeats enemies in all directions. But I was just reminded of this Sardar joke where the major or somebody said that, "Sir, we are surrounded in all directions." He said, "Then no problem. We can fight in any direction." Okay, Janardana means Jananu Durjananu Ardayati Hinasti iti Janardana. Punisher of wicked people. He punishes wicked people. That's why he is called Janardana. Narakadin Gameti iti va Janardana. And he sends him to hell as well. So he is called Janardana. There is a temple of Janardana in Kerala. Very famous temple in Varkala. 2000-year-old temple. Varkala. Janardana. Okay, Veda Vidavyango Vedango Vedavid Kavi Veda. Sarvavedaha Sarvavidyaha Sarve Yagyaha Sarvaidyaschya Krishna. Says Adi Shankara. All the Vedas, all the Vidyas, all the Shastras, all the Yagyas, all of that is Krishna. On Janmashtami day. Veda. Parasara Bhatta says this relates to Vishnu's aspect as Sankarshana, who is a propounder of the Vedas. Vedavit. Vedavit means knower of Veda. Vedavit Avyanga. Avyanga means perfect. Perfect. Huh? Yeah. Parasara Bhatta says Avyanga means he has all the Vedangas. Actually, Vedanga comes in the next name as well. Vedo, Veda, Vidavyango, Vedango, Vedavid Kavi. But there it's interpreted in a different way. Doesn't matter. Vedangas are what? 6 in number. There is Shiksha, Chandas, Nirukta, Vyakarana, Kalpa, Jyotisha. What are these? Shiksha deals with correct pronunciation of the Veda. How is the Vedas? See, Vedas, maybe we have 0.001% left from what we had, say 5,000 years ago or 4,000 years ago. What we have now is very little. Although this itself is unimaginably huge. But how even this has been retained, because of all these Vedangas are there to ensure that it does not get corrupted in any manner whatsoever. There's a method by which all these are retained. So there's a method of pronunciation, etc. All that will be there in Shiksha. Chandas deals with the meter. What is the meter of the verses? Gayatri Chandak, Ushni, Anushtup Chandas, like that. Nirukta is the etymology of these words. What does the word mean? A Vedic term is there. What does it mean? There should not be any. There should be a method of understanding the meaning of the word. Right? This is deep, actually. We're talking thousands of years ago. They've got such things, absolutely incredible, actually. Absolutely incredible. So especially when people have to do commentaries and stuff, their bhashyam, they have to know the Nirukta and all. Not just of the Veda, of anything. They will know. Bhaskara Raya, who wrote the commentary on Lalita Sahasranama, is supposed to have been a majorly good in his understanding and words. He has written many works. Lalita Sahasranama Bhashyam is one of them. He has written the Bhashyam on Ganesha Sahasranama, which is on Ganesha, the Sahasranama, he has written the Bhashyam. There in the first verse itself, in Gananatha, the normal meaning of Gananatha is he who is the Natha of Ganas, is the Lord of Ganas. Whereas he splits it up into Ganana and Atha. He says Atha is auspicious. Ganana is he who is enumerating whose qualities is auspicious. Like that, some Nirukta, he has split that. Likewise, so that's how they get so many meanings, deep meanings into all words. So that is Nirukta. Vyakarana is grammar. Before Panini there was heavy grammar. Panini majorly put it back into a certain. That has never been reached, actually. Panini's grammar, even now, any other language, a very, very linguist you take, with great awe, Panini's grammar. Kalpa is all the rituals, rites, etc. that are there in the Veda, all that will be in Kalpa. Jyotisha is astronomy, the planets. So like that, these are the Vedangas. Vedo Veda Vidavyango Vedango. Vedanga Veda Angabhuta Yasya Saha. He whose body is the Veda is Vedanga, he says. Vedango Vedavit Kavi. Vedavit, here the Vedavit he says is Vedan Vinte Vichareti iti Vedavit. He who inquires and spreads the knowledge about the Veda is called Vedavit. He deliberates on it, inquires on it, and then spreads that knowledge, shares it, etc. is called Vedavit. Kavi is seer, one who sees. All seer is Kavi. Okay.